Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. You know, I'm a firm believer in the collision of fate and circumstance, and recently fate and circumstance collided for me in a not so spectacular way when I came upon this Nady Tube Sound Overdrive. So I was browsing on Reverb a week or so ago when I came across this weirdly shaped pedal, and I was like, what? Nady makes pedals? That got me thinking about the company's founder, John Nady. You know, he invented one of the first wireless guitar systems. And naturally, John Nady's innovative spirit led me to reading a book on how to create your own remote-controlled robot. And the next thing I knew, I was scrolling through Amazon looking for parts to build a killer robot. No, not killer, I meant Kilmer, as in a Val Kilmer robot thing. And I was like, oh yeah, I should grab that Nady pedal. But just before I pulled the plug on the purchase, I started looking up reviews, but realized the reviews on the pedal were 2 reviews on YouTube? No way. Right then and there I realized I had to review this pedal for the good of the United Nations and humanity itself. Actually, I was running out of content ideas, but you know, you get the picture. So interesting pedal here up front. You've got Nady Audio Tube Sound Overdrive pedal, TS30, going for a tube screamer kind of clone type deal here. The description on the side here is interesting. It says, classic design produces the warmest, most natural overdrive sounds. The warmest, most natural overdrive sounds, folks. So if that doesn't get your mouth watering and your loins slightly moist, I don't know what will. Perfect for all styles from blues to rock to heavy metal. Ooh. The most versatile and best sounding distortion available. Wow, that is a ringing endorsement by Nady of their own budget tube screamer-esque clone pedal. Now things get a little bit confusing on this when we look at the barcode side of the deal here. We go from Tube Sound Overdrive on the front to Tube Scream Superdrive pedal, according to the barcode. So I mean, it just keeps getting better and better, this pedal. Now on the back we have what I can only describe as an artist's depiction of what the pedal was supposed to be. It's kind of like one of those architectural designs in front of a building, like this site will be operational in 2037. So anyways, but enough of the outside. Let us open this pedal up and kind of see what's going on inside. Alright folks, so let's take a look inside the box of this Nady Tube Sound Overdrive pedal. Super Overdrive, Tube Screamer, etc. Alright, that here. Looks like we got some instructions, and do not return this product to the dealer. Should be impossible since I bought this from Amazon anyways. We got ourselves our warranty card. You can mail that away to Shellman Street in Emeryville, California. So yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that. And we'll look at the manual here as well. And not much of a kind of a thin paper manual, not much going on here. It says, congratulations, you have purchased one of the finest effects pedals available. Yeah. So let's open this up and take a look at the pedal itself here. First gander at the scope and scale, and yeah. So here it is, the Nady Tube Sound Overdrive pedal. And upon first glance, it is a pretty sturdy pedal, very large pedal, quite a heavy pedal, and the good thing is it is made of metal. This is not a plastic. Knobs seem pretty good, you know, they seem to turn okay, nothing wrong there. Definitely the switch seems of high enough quality there. Definitely no sticking and the clicking, as they say. So yeah, an unusually shaped pedal. As the one reviewer on Amazon.ca said, this is shaped a lot like a stubby foot. So if you happen to, in some kind of scenario, have lost a foot in a guitar or instrument related accident, you could possibly use this as a foot. Overall, interesting looking pedal, kind of asymmetrical, and not sure exactly how well this is going to sit on a pedal board, but yeah. So with that said, let's get this down at the bench and check out the insides to see if there's anything unique or interesting or unusual about the circuitry and so on and so forth this pedal. I'll see you at the table. Alright folks, let's begin by taking a look at the back of this pedal, and you can see it's got a rubber coating, which is nice in case you're on a slidey floor of sorts. And I'll just yank the screws out of here, and very quickly at 4 times the speed, when I pull this off, you will see that this has like a plastic cover in there, kind of a plastic dust shield of sorts. And yeah, oddly enough, the circuit board is held on by 1 screw. Now this is completely modular, so which is quite interesting, so you can literally just yank the circuit board out for service anytime very easily. And the board itself is a traditional circuit board as opposed to a stamped board, which is also kind of cool to see. Now I know next to nothing about circuit board design, so any of you viewers out there that can tell me what this board is trying to emulate, that would be awesome. Now it does have a JRC 45580 op-amp chip, similar to the original Tube Screamer, so I've been told. And here you see this is TS30 version 1.1, and I am excited as hell for version 1.2. Just kidding, I don't think that's forthcoming. Anyways, interesting board overall. As I say, if anybody knows what this board is trying to emulate, whether it's a Tube Screamer or a Big Muff type circuit or whatnot, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, let's hear ourselves a quick and dirty demo. Yeah, so the so-called Nady Tube Sound Overdrive pedal. When I plugged this in, I expected kind of a bland and generic sounding, typical tube screamer clone type thing, but what I didn't expect was a pretty fuzzed out pedal that, if completely dimed, kind of sounds like running your guitar through 5 different 1980s personal stereo systems all at the same time. So when it comes down to it, this is really a fuzz pedal with a lot of gain. Like most fuzz pedals, you're not going to get a great note-to-note articulation, clarity, or tightness, especially on the low end as you heard from the demo. But what you do get is that fuzzed out distortion that's probably great for early 90s grunge tones, or even if you're looking for some kind of acid rock band sound to match with the Crybaby Wah. That might be a nice combination, this little pedal. Now, the one thing I do want to mention about this is leveling, of course. As you saw a minute ago, this goes from pretty standard sounding overdrive to balls to the wall in just about a quarter turn of the gain knob. And keep in mind, this is a pretty loud pedal too. I mean, I tried it alongside a couple of gain pedals, and it was about as loud at 50% as any of them at full volume. So yeah, there's about as much subtlety to this as an air horn during a church service, or for context, a pug at its most unfavorite veterinarian.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it's shaped like a foot. I don't know what kind of design thinking went into this pedal, but it's a foot. In conclusion, you could do a lot worse than this pedal for a lot more money. Personally, for the $30 I paid for this brand new, I mean, it was quite the fun little find. I mean, it's certainly no classic Maxon OD or vintage tube screamer, but for what it does, it's going to be a blast for anybody that's into that kind of thing. It's got its application somewhere. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining me on this Nady pedal demo journey. I hadn't really demoed a pedal before, and I just kind of saw this out there in the ecosphere, and there were so few reviews. I mean, I just had to add my 2 cents. So hopefully this is useful to somebody at some point. Anyways, thanks again for joining me. Keep on playing, and keep watching the channel for a whole lot more.